Hey guys, it's Phil Graham here. Welcome to the Fitness Entrepreneur Show, where we dissect the lessons of success from my experience coaching thousands of fitness professionals all over the world, right through to the greatest minds in entrepreneurship and how they're able to overcome adversity and grow their businesses. Now, today I want to give a concise overview of Ben Francis and his thinking and strategy behind scaling Gymshark to be one of the most successful emerging fitness brands in the market today. In fact, the company has been valued at just over $1 billion. And without a shadow of a doubt, there are many lessons that we can learn from Ben Francis and his journey into making this company great. So let's get stuck in, see what he has to say and dissect it. Get a pen and paper ready because we're going to go deep.
Factually so, numbers say that most businesses will fail in the first couple of years. And I never had a fear of failing, and I think that massively worked to our advantage because we were so happy and so comfortable taking that gut-led decision so quickly and instinctively. I think that really helped, because there might have been other companies that were in the same position as us that were umming and ahhing as to whether or not they should do certain things, and we just did it. And I think that's so powerful because you can spend so much time worrying about failure or this, that and the other, and before you know it, it's too late. Whereas I think we were just incredibly brave and tenacious in our pursuit of where we wanted to get to, and I think genuinely that made a huge difference to how quickly we've managed to grow the business.
So first things first, Ben is talking about fear and the fact that he didn't have fear when it came to growing the business. Now, I want to challenge that for a second and just say that most people have fear when they grow a business because they're starting from scratch. They've got to spend money where they've never spent it before. They've maybe got to hire a team. They're maybe working with clients that they don't like. They've maybe got an idea that they're bringing to market. And fear of failure is a big factor in holding a lot of entrepreneurs back, but it's also a big factor in driving a lot of entrepreneurs to implement and become successes. So the first thing that I would say here is that fear is normal. It's just your intuition trying to warn you of the potential downsides that may be ahead when it comes to growing your business. So please understand that if you are an entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form, that you will get fear throughout your business journey, especially as you go through different levels, when it comes to moving up income levels, when it comes to adding team members, when it comes to adding expenses and investments into your business. Fear is definitely going to come. And I've got a couple of notes here that I want to go through. First things first, if you do fail, it just provides feedback on what was working and what wasn't working, and ultimately gives you a steer in the right direction. And in many ways, you've got to be actually grateful for failure and treat it as simply just data, as feedback to guide your decision making moving forward. If you're not failing, you're definitely not going to be learning. And one of the key philosophies that I coach with all my clients is fail big, fail often, and move on in order to keep traction and momentum going. You cannot get caught up in the fear of failure, or you'll never do anything, or you can't drown in your sorrows because ultimately your competition in the marketplace is going to move on without you. So you have to get very good at moving on quickly, dissecting and debriefing your days in order to find out, right, what worked well, what didn't go well. And if you've utilized my Mission Ready journal, you will know that that is one of the key frameworks inside, is literally running a sieve through your mind every single day and actually determining what was strong, what wasn't, and what you can utilize to move forward in the day ahead. So let's see what else he's got to say.
So much more is in the control of the individual than what people think. The only reason that I or Gymshark has gotten to where we are today is because we took control of the situation that I was in. I followed my passion, and there was never a point where we've gone, the world has dealt us a bad hand, so we're just going to mope. And I think that's so important, that whatever happens, and it's not everyone is dealt the same hand. Some people have a better hand than others, and some people have more opportunity than others. And unfortunately, I think that's part of life, and it's a shame. And hopefully over our lifetimes, we can try and level that playing field as best we can. However, you're dealt with a hand, and ultimately that's the hand that you've got to play. And I think if you really take time to focus on self-development and improvement, I think you'd be very surprised as to the incredible gains that you can make.
I think the big lesson here is to be a professional implementer, not a professional note taker. One thing that I have observed after working with thousands of fitness entrepreneurs and business owners in general is that a lot of entrepreneurs like to hoard information, acquire more books, acquire more courses, and ultimately just take notes at seminars without actually implementing what they learn. Taking notes feels good, makes you feel like you're making progress, but ultimately you measure your progress by the money that you make, the impact that you have in people's lives, and the amount of free time that you build into your business as a result of building strong systems and a great team, so that you can be positioned in one, areas that you are the strongest and that you love, or two, in areas outside of business like family or whatever else it may be, so that you can enjoy your free time. So that's super important. He's also gone on to mention the importance of personal development. And this is, again, a core principle of mine, making sure that your identity is strong, your purpose, your mission, the reason why you're on this planet is very clear, and you revisit that vision every single day, and you aren't afraid to refine it. You aren't afraid to change your mind. You aren't afraid to update it over time so that you can become your best self. Because let's face it, most people don't know who they truly are, and they're largely a result of their environment, what their friends say, what their family say, and they say cocooned inside this very small mission, and they say constricted rather than expanding their thinking and surrounding themselves with the right people and staying heavily resourced with the right information that's going to move them forward. So do an environmental check. Ask yourself, are the people around you supporting you or holding you back? Look at your daily behaviors. Again, evaluate them. Are they driving you forward towards your dream, or are they holding you back? These very simple questions are paramount in order for you to actually get clear on the chances of you succeeding and living your true life. So let's get stuck in and see what else he has to say.
Arguably the thing that did blow Gymshark up was social media. Back in the day it was more Facebook and YouTube led. Lately you've got things such as Snapchat, TikTok, IGTV and all these things blowing up. But social media is just incredible, and as a company like us, it's just invaluable, again, because you get instant feedback, and that is so valuable, whether it's positive or more importantly negative, because you need to understand how to improve constantly. Social media is just brilliant. Social media for me, it comes into sort of two categories. You've got organic social media and paid, because a lot of it's getting paid now, especially on the Facebook-owned companies. What I say to the team here is that the organic reach that you see today is the best it'll ever be. It becomes sort of two very different problems to solve in a sense. On organic, you want to focus on virality, on organic engagement, on evoking emotion. When it gets to paid social media advertising, you need to be super targeted, you need to be super brief, you need to make sure that you're getting your message across instantly. You only have a split second to capture someone's imagination, and I think that's more true now than ever.
Ben talks about the growth of the company in relation to social media. And yes, there are two different types of social media. You can use it organic, which is free, or you can use it paid. The reality is, organic social media will only get you so far. You will not be able to scale to 7 figures, $1 billion plus, without the use of some paid media. And paid media can be in the respect to influencers, referrals, and also, most importantly, paid advertisement like YouTube ads, Facebook ads, any form of advertisement that you pretty much see on social media anytime you log in. And what you've got to realize about the beauty of paid advertisement is it does the work while you sleep. Organic definitely works, and it can definitely be brought to a point, but it requires a lot of time, and it ultimately will run dry and you'll run out of your audience. So paid advertisement allows you to reach a large segment of the market that you otherwise couldn't reach if you were just relying on organic. And you've got to realize that with organic marketing, especially if you've used the likes of Instagram or Facebook, you realize it's very unpredictable. You get peaks and troughs in engagement, peaks and troughs in followers and views and all this kind of stuff. And even though you produce great content, it isn't seen by everyone. And what matters is the frequency at which your material, your messaging, and your content and your value is seen by onlookers inside your marketplace. Remember this, the more they see it, the more likely they are to build trust with you. Think about every single time you post as adding value to the marketplace, and you build equity in their mind to the point where they're ready to invest. If you look at a lot of people that have come to work with you, some of them have said, hey, I've been following your content for quite some time. And what that says is, hey, I've been trying to suss you out for a period of time. to determine how you can help me, because some of the material that you've put up has really resonated with me. Some of the results that you've put up represent the results that I want to get in my life. And I know that you've got a system, I know you've got a product that will help me achieve that. So that's very important as well.
Next, I want to focus a little bit on the mindset, because this is so important. And I know that Gary Vee talks a lot about this and he focuses a lot on self-awareness, but I cannot tell you how important mindset is in terms of succeeding in starting your own business and then some of the first people that will join that business as well. So what you need, and this is not just yourself, but the people that are working in the business at the start and helping you out, you need to be ambitious, you need to be a lateral thinker, you need to be self-aware, you need to be creative, and for me, you have to absolutely be what we call a doer. So you need to be the sort of person that's going to grab something by the scruff of the neck and just get it done and move it forward and constantly progressing. So as a kid, so my dad worked away a lot. Like there were certain years he'd be away for like 6 months of the year, right? But like I said, I would play sport and he would take me to sport a lot. And he would never really talk to me about like fitness or speed or running. But the thing he would always drill into me for as long as I can remember was mindset. And he would always talk about you have to be strong mentally almost before you're strong physically. So mindset's a funny one. It's something that I feel like it's been a part of my life for forever. I think in many ways mindset can solve everything, right? Even the most terrible of problems with the right mindset can be dealt with well. But yeah, mindset's been something that I've been very consciously aware of for my entire life.
So Ben talks about the importance of mindset, and I couldn't agree more. The number one thing that every entrepreneur must focus on is their identity. And I talk about identity in terms of how you actually see yourself in the world. Like, what is your role? What is your purpose? What are your traits? How do you express yourself? And also how the world sees you. And a big thing with mindset, especially in relation to business, is understanding that success and self-love are all created in the mind first. In order for you to achieve true greatness, you have to love yourself first before anything else. Because if you don't love yourself and know how to appreciate yourself and have strong internal dialogue that supports your mission and your vision, even when you feel you are constantly going to be ridiculing yourself, worried what other people think, and trying to get quick hits or quick wins by impressing others. And the truth of the matter is, those other people have enough going on in their lives, and the reality is they don't really care. And the fact of the matter is, most of the people that you always try to impress are never going to be your customers. I have been saying this for 10 plus years. So many personal trainers in the fitness space, the niche I specialize in, are so concerned what other personal trainers, online coaches, and gym owners are actually going to think of them when they don't have clients, when they fail, if they go bankrupt, what their social media posts may be like, the numbers inside their Facebook group, all these little tiny things. Especially those as well who start out in business. They're scared to start from the bottom. Guys, you need to realize we all start from the bottom. I remember my first personal training client was actually my mum. So you all have to start somewhere. And making a daily commitment to feeding your mind, nourishing your mind, starting your day strong, winning the day, and protecting your inputs is really important. Surrounding yourself in an environment where you're inspired, you're stretched, you're supported, you're heavily resourced with the right training is all important. Reaching out and getting a mentor, somebody that's been where you want to go, is an absolute no-brainer. If you're not doing that right now, you're leaving your success and your life's purpose to guesswork, and that simply isn't good enough. And even if you find a mentor that hasn't done exactly what you want to do, you want to look at everything that they've done and go, right, what are the things that they can't support me with? I think sometimes people are looking for this perfect savior that's never really going to come. The reality is you will take bits and pieces of information, implementation, inspiration from the various people you come across in your life, whether that ranges from a mentor to a book to a course. You got to realize that you're puzzling it all together to determine what is the best result for you. Let's get back in.
I was self-aware enough to know the areas which I'm not very good at and the areas which I am good at. And it really helped Gymshark to grow faster when I just and it really pained me, by the way, it broke my heart to do it at the start, to take a step back from certain areas of the business that I loved because I wasn't very good at them, and brought in people that are significantly better than I am. And I think that's so important. And for me, that all comes down to self-awareness.
Ben talks about the art of delegation, something that every true entrepreneur knows the power of, and something that every entrepreneur initially struggles with at the very start. Why? Because they're afraid of losing control. You know the saying that nobody else is going to care about my business as much as me? That is actually false. The reality is, when you get really clear on the stuff that you're excellent at and the stuff that you're okay at and the stuff that you're terrible at, note it down on paper. What you ideally want to do is build a very strong role for individuals to cover the areas that you're terrible at first and then the areas that you're okay at, so that you have more time and energy to spend on the areas that you love. So for me, in my own business, Authority Network, if you haven't heard of it, the world's largest fitness business mastermind, my area of expertise is content creation and presenting. I don't want to do certain other things. I only want to do creating content and speaking on stage and presenting at virtual events. And that's what I love. That's where I come alive. Some people like to do sales, some people like to do marketing, some people like to do coaching. I don't really think anybody likes to do admin or graphic design. So again, when it comes to the likes of growing your fitness business, you need to realize that designing your graphics on Canva may serve you well when you just start and you've got no money to invest, but when you start actually making money, you need to pay other people to do this. And I don't really understand why personal trainers or online coaches would ever want to invest multiple hours into designing graphics, websites, videos, when they're not super skilled, when it's probably going to turn out crap and it's going to pull away a ton of time from actually marketing and sales and actually making money to grow their business. So make sure that you're getting really aware on those areas.
And all of these things go for the people around you as well. It's so important that you surround yourself with a great, ambitious, creative, lateral thinking, self-aware team.
Ben talks about surrounding yourself with a self-aware team, and finding a self-aware team is incredibly hard nowadays because, let's face it, most people are looking for somebody to blame. And you've heard this many, many times before. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. And truly, all it takes is a simple look in your messenger, a simple look inside your WhatsApp, to actually determine who it is that you're hanging around. And safe to say, it's either going to be family members, clients, or your best friend. And sometimes those clients can also be a big factor in your life. And one of the biggest problems that I see with fitness entrepreneurs, personal trainers, and online coaches is they try to work with everyone. And they fall into this generalist trap of trying to be a jack of all trades, master of none. And then they end up trying to serve too many people. And when you serve too many people, you've got too much vulnerability in your business, and it's quite painful to grow. Also, in terms of friends, we tend to hang around with the people that we're comfortable with or the people that we know, and we don't really take into account that they're sometimes secretly taking the piss out of us. 2, they're adding very little value to the conversation. And 3, sometimes they just don't like to see you do well. Or 4, they don't really give you objective, straight up feedback as to how you can improve your life. So looking for these people, finding a strong community to be a part of is absolutely critical to your success. And like I've said many times before, guarding your inputs is 100% essential to protect your energy and your bandwidth. Let's get stuck in and see what else he has to say.
So when you're starting your own business, the first thing that it needs to have is a clear purpose. When I look back to Gymshark and why Gymshark succeeded, it was all around the defined purpose that Gymshark had. From day one, Gymshark has always been around bringing people together, and that's why immediately, as soon as we could afford to, we were doing the event. And to this day, we still invest so much money into events despite not making any money from them. So purpose is single-handedly, for me, the most important thing. And if you don't have a purpose, either the business will fizzle out or you'll end up giving up on it.
Ben talks about the concept of having a purpose in your business, and I couldn't agree more. What is the purpose for you as an individual? And yes, I am putting you first, because the reality is when you put yourself first and understand that a large purpose of this business is to put you forward in the right place so that you can enjoy life and continue to relive that purpose of running your business, which ultimately then leads to serving others. So you serve yourself in order to serve others, and it goes back and forth like that. If you're overly altruistic and you're trying to just help everyone without actually creating an exchange, there's a very good chance you're going to burn out. You're not going to have enough money for the resources in order to feed yourself, feed your team, feed your business, and reach more people. So first of all, understanding that if you've got a mission, the most important thing is, do I enjoy it? Can I get well paid from it? And as a result of that, can I continue to operate that business? And then lining it up with the actual impact and solution that you are actually bringing to the marketplace, because you are in the business of changing lives. You're in the business of adding value to people, and you can only add value to people when you are well resourced, when you enjoy what you're doing, and you are delegating smartly. So again, purpose can be linked into many different things. Purpose in terms of who do I want to be a hero to? How much money do I want to make? What do I want to do with that money? What free time do I want to have? What do I want to do with that free time? Why am I doing this beyond money? Why am I doing this beyond freedom? What legacy am I going to leave? These are all key questions that will ultimately help you define your purpose. And without a shadow of a doubt, I see it all the time. The entrepreneurs in the fitness space with the clearest vision as to who they want to be a hero to, why they're doing it for themselves, why they're doing it for their family, why they're doing it to make the world a better place, are the ones that overcome the challenges, because the growth of your business is in direct correlation to the challenges that you overcome and the value that you add to the marketplace. And having a very clear purpose is going to put you in the key driving seat in order to achieve that. So that's pretty much everything about Ben. Ben, thank you so much for sharing all these valuable bombs. I hope that was insightful. Find the comment section below and type in your biggest takeaway. And please, we're trying to grow this YouTube channel. We've literally just started in the last couple of months. We'd really appreciate if you'd click subscribe, or if you'd share this on your Insta story as well. Legends, love you all. See you soon.